We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bringing news just for you is Friday, November 14th here in Seoul. I'm Isujin, and this is News Generation. Joining us today is Cheska.
Wow, it's Friday already. Happy Friday!
Happy Friday! Woo! Woonju's with us.
Good morning.
Good morning, and both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. So it's Friday, and to wrap up the week, we wanted to keep things a bit light. You know, we're in an age of memes, where a single picture or short clip can capture an entire mood, opinion, or even social movement. From viral trends that unite the internet to inside jokes that only your group chat understands, memes have basically become their own language. So today, let's talk more about this. So what's your favorite meme, Cheska?
I have prepared one today, and there was one that kind of became viral with a little bit of tune and a little bit of dance. So let me demonstrate. Are you guys ready?
We'll join you.
Here,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 꽁꽁 얼어붙은 한강 위로 고양이가 걸어다닙니다. There are many different versions of this, but this meme apparently became a meme after there was a B-roll on the news of an actual cat walking on a frozen Han River, and it was just to explain how cold the weather was, and this just became a meme with a little bit of dance, and all the K-pop celebrities and people started, putting a little tune and the little jiggy dance to it, and it became a meme. So. Thank you.
I'm having second thoughts about joining you for doing this.
Thank you so much for joining. My heart was beating too fast.
What about you, Moonju? What's your favorite?
All right. Okay.
I'm so ready for this.
All right. Okay. One of the most popular meme today, or these days, is hip dance or 골반춤. All right. It looked fun and addictive. There's a reason why I'm saying it looked fun and addictive. You're going to find out later. This meme features people moving their hips from side to side to the rhythm of AOA's miniskirt.
Did you dance?
Oh my gosh, so there's a clip.
I think this kind of explains what this meme is. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah.
I love how there's also like bubbles.
I'm very sorry for my dancing skills. I'm not a good dancer, so, I'm just demonstrating it.
You tried.
I'm sorry, guys.
You tried.
No, you seem quite flexible, actually.
Thank you. It's the first time I'm hearing that I'm flexible. Generous of you. All right. Anyways, so this song, AOA's Miniskirt, was released back in 2014 that once to Korea by the storm. And riding the wave of the meme's popularity, actually, this song is even climbing back up the music charts these days. Now K-pop idols, YouTubers, and even netizens from Europe are joining this trend, filming their own films and dancing performances, and they're sharing them across social media platforms.
So all of these are so catchy, you can't help trying it yourself, as we did, even if you really shouldn't dance in public like that.
Yes.
I'm sorry again.
Not to put you on the spot.
Thank you, Sujin.
So it's wild how something that starts here goes global in a week. So a meme's powerful when even people with two left feet, I'm not talking about you, Moonju, are giving it a go. So let's take a look at the screen to see what we'll be exploring today. Every day our feeds are flooded with memes. Some make us laugh, some make us think, and a few become truly unforgettable. They've become a universal language, a way to share a feeling, a thought, or even a joke without saying a word. We send them to friends, we quote them in conversations, and sometimes we can't scroll for 5 minutes without seeing one. It's no wonder memes have taken over our online lives, maybe even a little too much. So today on News Generation, we're taking a closer look at the latest viral memes, why they're so popular among the younger generation, and how they might actually be shaping the way we relax. So as I just saw in the video, meme trends change faster than ever. One day it's everywhere, and the next day it's already old news. But even that constant cycle, there do seem to be certain patterns. Some memes just click more than others. So what are some common traits of the memes that go viral these days, Cheska?
So I think one of the things that we need to know is that the term meme actually refers to viral or imitative content that spreads rapidly across the internet. Like in the past, for something to become meme, I think it either had to be like very sharp or clever commentary on society society almost like a satire or deep sense of shared understanding, because people would only replicate and say things that they found meaningful or even socially relevant. Now, this meant it required time for people to process an understanding from the receiver's side. You had to know sort of the context behind it. But over time, and a lot of us watching today with the 고양이 and the hip dance, which I do want to forget, the memes and lifespan, as you mentioned, Sujin, seems to get shorter and shorter, meaning there's a very quick turnover. And there are too many and a lot of them, and it doesn't require incredible depth or wit. It can still give you a quick, contextless laugh and move on. In other words, today's viral culture is becoming more spontaneous, short-lived, and contactless, and these are in turn contents that ask for less thought on the viewer's side, because it's just, quote, really funny in the moment, and then we move on.
Right, I agree with that. So it's less about the message and more about the moment. So people just want something that feels good instantly without having to think too hard about it. So would that also explain why certain physical or performance-based memes like dances are trending now, like the one you demonstrated?
Exactly, yeah.
Speaking of that, I think I'm the first one to perform that here in Arirang TV, right?
And should be the last one.
And the last one, okay. I'll take it. Anyways, okay. The hip dance, is similar, in which you really don't have to think what it really means. So it's not particularly relatable or satirical, nor does it carry any deep messages. There's no need to interpret or analyze like other types of contents. And instead, it simply offers a instant pleasure through its visual and rhythmic appeal, as you just see from my demonstration. And that's exactly the kind of content that resonates with the MZ generation.
So it feels like people just want to enjoy something fun for a few seconds and then move on. So no deeper message, just a quick laugh or a sense of pleasure, which I hope you guys felt seeing us dance like that. So what about these kind of simple memes click so well with the younger generation, Jessica?
I think the biggest thing is the quote-unquote instant, immediate feedback. So people are heavily gravitating towards these content that is quick, easy, and fast. And as the name goes, we have, quote, shorts, right? And these shorts are becoming shorter from minutes to now only a couple seconds. And in the age of information overload and people's brain being wired to chase quick dopamine rush, I think it creates a psychological tendency known as cognitive fatigue avoidance. People, especially younger generation, highly favor content that requires little interpretation, little effort, and quick high rush of stimulus. And this is so-called the preference for aesthetics of thoughtlessness, in Korean 생각없음의 미학. And I don't think this is either negative or positive, but while too much thinking can be tiring, constantly thinking or seeking short-circuit thinking can lead to some negative consequences, as we will discuss in today's episode.
So it's interesting how what used to be seen as mindless can seem therapeutic for some people. That really ties into how overwhelmed people feel today. There's so much information competing for attention. A simple, low-effort content feels like a relief. So is that also why we're seeing the rise of short-form content, Moonju?
Yeah, definitely. This kind of psychology aligns closely with the rise of short-form content that Jessica mentioned. In fact, according to a survey by the Korea Creative Content Agency last year, 62% of the MZ generation said, they often watch short videos because they're not tiring at all. What this suggests is that, quickly getting a dose of dopamine without having to think too much has become a way for the MZ generation to find a sense of peace in this, overwhelming and fast-paced world.
What you said about the sense of peace really explains the appeal. So for this generation, taking a break doesn't necessarily mean doing nothing. It's about consuming something light and effortless that still feels quite satisfying. So to learn more about this phenomenon, we're going to talk to a medical professional about this. So that conversation will take place right after the break, so don't go anywhere.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search out channel Arirang News. Click Posts and cast your vote in the poll. Make a new type of news with us.
So joining us today is Kim Jung-jin, a medical director of the Alcohol, Drugs, and Addiction Inpatient Program at Harvard Medical School's McLean Hospital. So hi, Dr. Kim. Thank you so much for connecting with us today.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
So to get right into it, so what's driving this love for short and random content among the younger generations?
Sure. So, it's really an interaction between our changing environment and how our brain's adapting to it. As you know, our world is constantly sending us alerts, news feeds, presenting us with infinite choices. So the brain is shifting into what I call quick skim mode. It's starting to scan fast instead of stopping and thinking deeply, because that's the only way to keep up with the volume. But in the process, the reward system gets hijacked, and every swipe gives you that tiny feel-good dopamine hit with almost zero effort, and that is a setup for a powerful habit loop. And to amplify this, the short-form apps are actually built to take advantage of that. Their entire product design's objective is to keep you swiping and engaged, and by making it fast, effortless, fun, and rewarding. So it'll be good for the consumers to take note of that.
You said it yourself, and I think a lot of neuroscientists have talked about how the brain gets wired through this. So what are some of the negative effects that can arise from these kind of short, mindless consumption?
Sure. So we're seeing the attentional system getting rewarded at a neurological level, and that's showing behaviorally as well. The research has shown that, for example, the EEG electroencephalogram, which is the brain wave test, shows that the brain's mental break signal gets weaker with heavy consumption. This signal is what the brain actually needs to apply focus, counteract impulse, and stay on task. So in real life, the brain starts avoiding tasks that require effort. That means boredom feels unbearable, long tasks feel impossible, people get more restless and anxious, especially moments that require persistence and reflection. And this has consequences for learning, for emotional regulation, and especially during high stress situations, exactly the type of moments when you need self-control the most.
Yeah, I see. So, what's a better way to, give our brains a healthy break without falling into that endless scroll from looking at short forms?
Sure. So from my perspective, the rule number one is rest means low stimulation, not more. So for instance, take short walks without your phone, try stretching, looking out the window, deep breathing, quick mindfulness, even a moment of journaling. I'm actually a big fan of journaling. These are the type of activities that let the brain actually reset and recover. And the second thing is trying to make the break intentional, setting a simple, like 3 to 5 minutes phone-free timer, and taking a real break instead of really drifting into swiping or scrolling. And perhaps most importantly, what I always tell my clients, we need to rethink what a break really is. Short form videos are like candy. They're perfectly fine in small doses in moderation, but they're not really rest and they're not self-care. So the bottom line is that the brain needs actual downtime to recover, not just another hit of fast, low effort stimulation.
Great. I will also try journaling tonight instead of just scrolling on my phone before I go to bed. So thank you for that. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
So we just heard from a medical professional about why millennials and Gen Zs are drawn to short-form videos and context-free memes. It's all about quick, effortless pleasure and a mental break in a world full of information overload and stimulation. And doom scrolling is one trap that many people, including me, fall into when they're trying to rest, just endlessly scrolling through news or social media without even realizing how tired it makes them. But of course, not everyone relies on screens for downtime. There are other ways people try to switch off, relax, and recharge their mind. So what are some other strategies people, including those from other countries, use to give their brains a real break, Jessica?
I think, as you mentioned, people are definitely trying, and there's a growing number of people, actually including myself, who are actively trying to carve out the time or the space to unplug. And I've done a few, and I'm still doing, and I would like to introduce some. But some of the common ones are digital detox rituals of our generation, include, a couple of hours of phone off challenge, social media deactivation days, which I've also tried. Again, creating that sort of system on purpose to avoid being exposed to constant alerts. But instead of shutting down completely and staring into a blank space, which I think would make you miss more, there is a trend that has sparked a lot of interest among young people, and it's called silent walk. Now, this is walking without music or phone or any distraction, but just in your own thought and the noise from the outside. And this isn't to become numb. This is so that you can actually let your own thoughts flow, hear the sound, the noise. So it's almost like a meditation. And in a world that never stops talking at us, I think we have to actively make moments of silence so we can talk to us
I think this is all really good advice, but it's so hard. I can't imagine like taking a run without listening to music.
Yeah.
But I guess that's also all part of being too stimulated as well.
There was a meme that said people who can work out without music or like run without any sort of music in their ears are superwomen and superman, because
No, seriously.
in nowadays that is something that is quite impossible.
It does feel really impossible. And it's fascinating how the same generation can enjoy quick digital dopamine hits while also deliberately unplugging to recharge. So the two approaches seem opposite, yet they both serve the same purpose, so giving the brain a break. So what are some other ways for people to actually let their minds rest beyond turning off their phones or logging out of social media?
Yeah, dancing. Just kidding. No,
It's a great way, but you should do it on your own.
Yeah,
Don't share it.
I'll keep it myself. Anyways, as doctor just mentioned here, I often jot down the thoughts that clutter my mind, and sometimes the answers come through while I'm writing down my stuff. Other times, instead of turning off my phone completely, I think simply listening to your favorite music, it kind of helps you to feel at your ease. And lastly, these methods of course differ from people to people and person to person. So the most important thing I think is finding your own way to restore peace of mind, because everyone is detoxing the digital, you have to follow them. I don't think it goes that way. You just have to find your own way of doing so. Yeah.
To each its own.
Yeah.
To each its own. It's interesting to see how this idea of mindful rest is spreading globally. Just walking without your phone or music and letting your mind wander seems so simple yet so effective. It seems like the need for a digital detox and mental breaks is quite universal. And silent walks are a perfect example of how people can rest their minds without doing anything too complicated or difficult. I love how this shows that even in the digital age, people are craving moments of simplicity and quiet. So to get a broader perspective on this, we asked on the Arirang YouTube channel, what do you usually do to clear your mind and relax? So here's what the results showed. So according to the data, 44% of respondents say that they watch short-form videos, while 37% prefer taking a walk. About 14% said they simply zone out, letting their thoughts drift, and 5% practice a full digital detox. So it's interesting to see how varied the approaches are. A large portion of people rely on quick, easy fixes like watching short-form videos, while others prefer more active measures like walking. Even digital detoxes, though they were a little less common, show that some are intentionally stepping away from screens to recharge. So with all these different strategies in mind, so Cheska, what are your personal tips on how to give your your brain a break in a healthy way?
Dancing, obviously,
Yeah.
it does help. But I think, and this is also based on my own personal experience, as I find this topic to be quite important, especially for our generation when we are always constantly wired. I think the system and replacement are two key things, and let me explain. As many neuroscientists and experts have repeatedly said, trying to tell your brain to stop thinking or stop chasing dopamine rush is almost like telling your heart to stop breathing. It's so natural and they would want it. So you have to give your brain something worthy to think about and take some time to develop, quote, fun in it. And whether that can be walking, like you said, or working out, reading, or journaling, like our interviewee said. And think of it as replacing dopamine with like happy stimulus like oxytocin or serotonin and all the other happy stimulus. And also people talk about willpower, but I think willpower alone will never last when we are constantly exposed to so many alerts and advertisements and notifications. And we all use our laptops for work and phones, right? So I'm glued to my messenger for work and assignments and the internet. So I think you have to actively create an environment that sort of allows you to unplug. So that could be turning off all alerts and notifications. I disable any recommendations from YouTube and algorithm feeds. I even try to use apps like minimalist phone. So your phone becomes black and white.
Oh.
So there's no stimulus and the icons also disappear. And when you want to do something, you have to search. So you have to think a couple of times before you do it. So that creates a sort of steps for the dopamine rush to kind of take a step back. And I heard from a lot of neuroscientists that when you try to do these kind of dopamine replacement, at first, it might feel a little bit depressing, sad, a little bit bored, and not so much fun, but it is completely okay because that just shows how much of a rush we were getting from the previous, all these dopamine rushes. So take your time and try a lot of different things.
I think what you mentioned about getting help from those apps to kind of help control your, because I feel my thumbs just moving to go to that social media app.
Right,
So I think
right.
using those apps could be helpful to prevent us from using other apps that will lead us to that doom scrolling pattern. as
Exactly,
well.
and like you said, I think our thumbs already remember where
Right,
it
it
is.
does
It
feel
just
like that
immediately
way.
goes and clicks on it, knowing that once I click, I will get a rush of interesting shorts and memes and cats walking.
There's so many.
Dancing, right?
Dancing.
Yeah.
So what are some of your tips?
Yeah, sometimes doing nothing, simply just zoning out also serves as a mental rest. As we just heard from Doctor, just taking a rest means lessening the stimulation, and the best way to do so is just simply doing nothing, right? Among the MZ generation, this practice has long taken many forms, like 불멍, staring into a campfire, or 물멍, just gazing at the water at the beach or sea, and also cafe mong, spacing out while sitting in a cafe, which I always do.
Me too.
These trends have been popular for quite some time, with spacing out competitions held along the Hangang or Han River for over a decade, as well as similar events in cities like Pohang or Gwangju. Recently, programs that features so-called soundscapes have also gained popularity, allowing people to relax their minds while listening to the sounds of nature, such as the wind, rustling grass, or insects in distance.
I really liked what you said there, because sometimes it feels hard, but then doing that, just staring into space is really
Yeah.
easy for anyone to do and
Yeah.
really anyone to get into. So I think that's really also good advice. And today's conversation showed just how many different ways people are trying to rest their minds. Some people scroll, some walk, some zone out, and others unplug completely. But of course, whatever you choose, just make sure it doesn't turn into another endless scrolling session, because that kind of break usually leaves you more drained than refreshed. And hopefully some of these ideas help you rethink how you can recharge. And ultimately, giving your brain a breather isn't about doing something big. It's about being intentional. So take those pauses, protect your peace, and give yourself permission to slow down. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of News Generation. But News Gen will be back on Monday at 10:30 a.m. Korea time with more stories and discussions. A big thanks to Cheska.
Which is always mine. Thank you.
Coming in as well, Moonju.
Thank you, and sorry for my dancing.
We look forward to seeing more of that maybe in the future.
It was wonderful. Yeah,
It was.
Thank you.
Yes. It was a dopamine rush.
And to our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope you have the best day. We are News Generation.